hello, and welcome to Find It on this Wednesday evening. I'm so glad you're here. I have 3 women who are coming on tonight, and it's really important, and they're powerful, strong women who have a message for you. As we know, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and we just had a fashion show and a fundraiser for breast cancer. And these are 3 of my models from the fashion show. And I want them to come on and share their story of encouragement and hope. And their names are Laura Vollmar, Kim Hirsch, and Lori Koker. So with no further ado, I'm going to bring them up right now. Okay. So in no particular order, Lori. Hi, Lori.
Hello.
And we have Laura. Hi, Laura.
Hello.
And Kim.
Hey.
Hello, Kim.
How are you?
Ladies. Well, you know what? We had a fashion show and you guys rocked it. And you guys, all of you wore wigs that Raquel Savage Preston brought to you. Mm-hmm. And that was so fun. Well, wait, let me hear from you. Lori, did you have a good time?
I did have a good time. I was taken out of my comfort zone, as a lot of people there probably knew. But you and the models and Raquel all made it like so easy. So it was fun.
Yeah, I think it was fun. I think our audience loved it too. Laura, what about you? You were here last year. You were a model last year for the very first one.
But I wore a wig this year and it was awesome. That was so cool. I mean, you become somebody else when you put that wig on and you just go and strut your stuff. It's kind of cool.
And you did. And Kim.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not even going to ask you if
you're had hilarious.
Because you rocked it. I was like, I stopped for a minute. I was trying to talk about what your outfit was. And I was just like, Kim Hirsch, you had the blonde wig on and you were like showing that out. And I was like, I'm out of my mind right now with her, like right now. So I'm going to put a picture up right now. These are all of our models.
Awesome. Oh my gosh.
And if you're looking left to right, I will name them. Lynn Bunstein. And yes, right there next to her is Kim Hirsch. And then look at Lori Koker rocking the wig with the burgundy pink in it. And then Laura Vollmar, you are killing me with that rock. It looked kind of like a rocker vibe when you put that wig on with purple.
That's the first time I've seen it.
Oh gosh, that's so great.
I never even saw it.
Kim McKimmey, and then next to her is Tracy Gano. And those were our models today. We had a couple ladies that couldn't make it as models. Martha Tenedo couldn't make it, and Tracy Lehman, and they'll join us again next year. And we're just going to continue to make it bigger and better every year. This was our second one. And it was I thought it was really, well, we know it's for a great cause. And if nothing else, even if we don't raise a ton of money, I don't know what we raised, all of us can get together and enjoy a great day for a good cause.
Yes.
So I want to, why we're here for breast cancer awareness. It's important for other people out there who may be trying to go at this alone to know that there's a community of other women who can rally around one another and be strong for one another, understand the path that they're on. So Kim, I'm going to start with you. When did you so all of you, let's just be clear. So all of these women here have had breast cancer. And Kim, tell us when you were diagnosed and what your journey was.
So I was diagnosed 10 years ago in March. And it was, you know what? At the time, I didn't even know what kind of cancer it was, I just knew it was breast cancer. The guy showed me my little picture and he said, "Oh, you've got these fingers coming out everywhere," which I could see. And my response was, "Well, I get a boob job. Woohoo!"
And that is so you though, but really,
I was shocked.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It was just one day at a time. It was scary. It's scary because you are, they're coming at you with decisions that you have to make, and they want you to make them now. And that's really hard when you're trying to wrap your head around what you've just been told and timing. So
what advice would you give women who get that news and then they have to have a quick turnaround decision?
I would say take your time. Like, I know it's imperative to get at it right away, but at the same time, I wish that I would have taken more time to think about it. But it's a double-edged sword. I mean, at the same time, if you think too much about it, then you can freak out and it's a mess. So there's a fine line there.
Do you remember? I know it's been a decade ago, and so congratulations for being
Thank you.
cancer-free for a decade.
Praise Jesus.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But what was do you remember from the time you were diagnosed to your time of your preferred treatment was? What was the turnaround?
It was 2 months.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. It was really quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you actually got the diagnosis and then you had the surgery or whatever you decided to do?
I did. So mine was, luckily I could do a lumpectomy, and then I did not have to have chemo. I did what was called a balloon radiation. So they went in from the side so they took out the lump, went in from the side of my breast, stuck in like this balloon that opened up, and then it radiated, excuse me, from the inside. So I didn't have to have full breast radiation, which also is really good because that, sometimes full breast radiation can interfere with lungs and stuff like that because your breast is right there.
Okay.
But I was just lucky enough, again, praise Jesus, that I was a candidate for that. So that was a 5-day, twice a day radiation treatment.
Where did you get your treatment, Kim?
So my oncology doctors, Dr. Sickle Santinello, she was working out of Mount Carmel at the time. And then, but I did my radiation here at Adena.
Okay.
Because it was close. She was confident in what they could do. And it was easy. It was near home. So It was good.
That is
but
good.
Yeah. So yeah, it was fast. I wanted to wait because I'm like, oh no, you don't understand. I have kids. Can we wait until the summer? And she's like, yeah, no. Yeah. We're going in March. Let's go.
So as far for you, how often after that treatment did you have to go back and get checked to make sure everything was still good?
So every 6 months for, I don't know how long, first maybe 2 years.
Okay.
And then I'm just you keep track of your breasts and what it feels like, because there's scar tissue now that sometimes feels like lumps. And you're like, is it? So every now and then I would have an ultrasound just to double check and make sure. And then I was able to go to every year. So now I'm just on every year like everybody else, an annual mammogram. And then if I feel anything different.
Yeah. Well, that's really good that you bring that up too, that you're an advocate for your own health in general, but also for your breast tissue. You know what it feels like and you know
exactly
what's different. And, that's important too, self-care like that. So I'm going to move on to, and thank you, Kim. And I'm so happy that you're 10 years out. This is great. So Laura, tell us about your journey.
So mine was the day we shut down schools and everything in March of 2020 for COVID and the pandemic. I had my mammogram, and then an hour later they did the ultrasound because they'd canceled all their non-essential appointments. So I was like, okay, we just do this. A week later had the biopsy, and a month later had surgery. And
that's really a fast turnaround.
It was kind of a wham bam, but there wasn't anything else going on. And so I didn't have to say, I mean, it didn't even occur to me, my son's in school and this and that, because everything was shut down. That was a silver lining to having breast cancer during a pandemic. Everything was shut down. So
and you're a school teacher.
Yes. So I didn't have to miss any school. I was doing these kind of classes, and I could still do those. And then I set some stuff up for the week I had surgery. And then after that, I get on and do a morning thing. They had no idea, which was because I wasn't going to stress my kids out, my freshman kids out with, your teacher has breast cancer while they're trying to go through a pandemic and they're stuck at home. So it wasn't something to mention at the time. They found out the next year when I came back to school, but
Yeah.
just didn't feel like that was something necessary to stress them out with.
It's
Well,
also
and it
kind of
was-
hard. People don't know, like, they don't know that you've had breast cancer. And then when they hear, they're like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that. I'm like, well, it's not one of those topics that you go, hey, guess what? I just
Yeah.
had breast cancer. And,
Yeah.
you know,
I mean,
it's,
I called and told my family. I texted a large group of friends that are family, but I was like, until we know for sure, like I didn't find
Yeah.
out till middle of May that I was going to have chemo. I mean, I had my surgery. I went back for a checkup after my surgery. She's like, we don't have all the testing back yet, but we'll give you a call. And I'm like, okay. So we were halfway through May, and I was actually at school, and we were having the kids bring their books and stuff back in. We had finally decided school's done. We're not doing this anymore. And that's when my
You got the call.
said, I hate to say this, but we are going to have to do chemo. I'm like, okay, when do we do this? And she's apologizing. I'm like, okay, it's not your fault. Let's go. When are we doing? Where am I doing this? And I had the same oncology surgeon as Kim, Dr. Brenda Sickle-Santinella. And she said, you can do it at Adina. It'll be it was just easier. And she said, I totally trust them. And so I had Dr. Money, and we started those in June, and every 3 weeks for 4 times, 21 days in between. And I was done by August, and then had to wait a few weeks and then do 25 sessions of radiation. So by October 6th, which happened to be Kim and Steve's anniversary, I was done with radiation.
Yay.
So that was like, yay, done with that.
Yes.
But so since that time, Laura, how have you been, and how have your rechecks been?
Good. We've so I went every 3 months for a full year, and then I started, actually, I guess it was a full year after I was done with treatment. So starting in that November, I started an every 3 month thing, and then I'm on 6 month checkups now. So
And
but
what kind of cancer?
it was invasive ductal carcinoma. I had a lumpectomy. My boobs are not very big to begin with, so it was very easy to feel the lump. My husband actually found it.
I was going to ask you if you were comfortable sharing that. And then I'm like, well, if she's not, I put her out there.
Even that first October, he's like, so can I get on Facebook and put a PSA and tell all the guys to check their wives? I'm like, if you want to, honey, that's fine. Because technically he did find it. Our comfy chairs in front of the TV, he is to my left, and he is a little handsy every once in a while and reaches over, and he's like, what is that? And I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, that wasn't there before. And so he found a lump in my boob. So
Way to go, Hubs.
That's awesome. Yeah. Go, Lulu.
Well, I'm glad you're doing great, and your hair has grown back. I do know that you weren't shy about showing the
photos.
Yes.
I
was just like, wow. I remember seeing that picture, and I was like, God love you, just you're owning it. Now it's all grown back.
It's all grown back. That was actually how we told everybody, was after I'd lost my hair. I was on my second chemo. We knew exactly what was going to happen, and that I was going to be okay for the most part, assumed that. So, and he had been hearing, like, because he was still going to work, and he was like, I've had some people saying that you were dying, this was happening. So we need to put something out there. I'm like, that's fine, whatever. So we put it on Facebook. If it had not been COVID, everybody and their brother would have known, because we'd have been at baseball and softball games, track meets, 4-H events, whatever.
Right.
But we weren't, so nobody knew.
Right. And that's almost a blessing, though, because I think I would say it's pretty mentally challenging to go through something like that. And if you're around all your kids at the school and people are asking you questions, you probably had silence can be deafening, though, too.
Yes.
So, keeping busy is important. So I think, while I say it was probably a blessing to have time, it was probably also not a blessing because you had time to think.
See anybody? I mean, my mom was she didn't like not being able to see me and visually see that I was okay.
Yeah, I get that.
I'm okay, Mom. But so it was hard. people would come and visit, but you couldn't really visit a lot because COVID, and they were freaking out about that. And like my husband and Lou couldn't, like, he had to drop me off for my surgery at Mount Carmel and then go home. And they're like, we'll call you when she's done.
Oh, how I bet that
Because
was
of
so
COVID.
difficult for him.
That was kind of, yeah.
They say, like, listen, people,
That's-
I'm the doctor. I found it. I found the lump to begin with. I can't sit in surgery now. I can't even be in the hospital. What's going on?
So he went home and played in his barn and created some little things. I have a little he carved this little wooden breast cancer ribbon out of wood.
He's very handy. I've seen some of the things he's made. That's awesome.
Yes.
So he kept himself busy.
Yes. Making things like these earrings, or wait, I guess.
Yes. I love them.
Yeah.
Laura, thank you for sharing that. And we're going to talk more to you and Kim, but now it's Lori's turn to talk about the journey she's on. Our volleyball coach. What school is it again?
It's Southeastern.
Southeastern. I know that the girls that you train and coach really think the world of you. And I was able to watch Derek Webb's video podcast kind of thing on you and the interviews. You guys should check it out. It was amazing. And before Lori tells her story, I want to interrupt right now and say, along the ticker, you'll see Pink Pack Tribe. And the reason that's there is because that is a Facebook page that these ladies created to share one another's journey and have each other's backs on this. And we'll talk about that more. I'll have Laura talk about that a little bit too. But Lori, what's your story?
Okay, well, I was diagnosed and I have notes, sorry, because like it's been
good.
You're good, yeah.
I have notes too.
It's okay.
May of 22, and my granddaughter had found it. We were wrestling on the floor, and her elbow went into me. But I am one I never skipped a mammogram or any kind of physicals like that. So I think that's very important for every woman and men to be aware of, just to check your own stuff. But anyways, she landed on me and it didn't go away. So a week later, I went to the doctor and they did a biopsy of it. And he come right in and said I had cancer. My husband was with me, thank God. Mm-hmm. And it totally did hit me like a ton of bricks. I don't have breast cancer in my family at all. I have cancer. I think a lot of people have cancer in their family, but not breast cancer. So I thought that was unique. So when I started, it started out as stage 1 and they were going to do a lumpectomy and everything looked good. Well, I did the genetics testing at Ohio State's where I do all my treatment. Mm-hmm. And the surgeon, Dr. Agnes, is actually on the genetics counseling at Ohio State. So, and it was all covered under my insurance, thank God. But I have the BRCA1 gene as well. So that changed my whole treatment plan. So I had a double mastectomy. Before I had the double mastectomy, I had to go through 16 rounds of chemo. And that was 3 different types of chemo. And I can't for the life of me think of all of them.
Well, sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a 50-50 chance that I would have a complete response from that. I was real fortunate and blessed that I did have a complete response. And when I went in from actual surgery, the breast cancer was gone. So I do have triple negative, which I didn't mention, and it's more of aggressive type of cancer. And I think only 24% of women that get breast cancer only get their triple negative. So it's kind of a cancer. They don't know what causes it because it's not hormonal driven. So anyways, I did the 16 rounds of chemo, and then they had the double mastectomy, and I chose to have expanders put in.
Yeah.
So my husband, bless his heart, didn't want me to have them at all. He just wanted me to go flat. He said enough's enough, but I chose to do it.
Yeah.
My left side got infected on the inside. So within 2 months of that surgery, I had to have another surgery to have my expanders taken out. Oh, yeah. And I chose just to go flat. And, every woman has their own choices. Sure. I would recommend talking to people and still do what's comfortable to you. So, and then after that, since I had the BRCA1 gene, I had a total hysterectomy because there was a 60% chance that I could have it in my female organs. So I could have that done. So after all that was done, we thought we was on, I'd went in for my final checkup. Everything looked good. And my oncologist told me there's only probably a 3% chance you'll ever get cancer again because of being triple negative. It was so aggressive, but he felt very confident in getting it all. So, yay, I was like rejoicing for sure. And then in June, I started having bad headaches. So my oncologist team, they're great. They're like, hey.
So just to clarify, this past June.
Yes. So I started getting hair back, but now I'm on treatment again. And so in June, oncologist team's like, hey, it's probably from your hysterectomy, but let's go ahead and have some scans done. Thank God to them. So I went in and they went to my brain. So I found out like the last week of June that this happened. And on July the 5th, I had brain surgery and they removed the spot, and he was confident that he got it all. I had to do 3 rounds of radiation to my brain, and I go back October 27th to check my scans again. I'm currently on a chemo drug, and it has side effects, so I'm losing my hair again, which it'll come back eventually, I hope. But other than that, I feel good, and I just have to continue to keep battling. So.
Well, Lori, this is, when you came and got fitted for clothes and you came to my home and we started talking and I got to know you better. One thing that comes to my mind about you that you're encouraging, and you have hope, and you are positive. You have I didn't realize that you had brain surgery and that it had spread. I had no idea. And I thought that you were just, recovering still from breast cancer. And when I learned of that, it took me aback. And I just thought, we get in our daily grind every day, and traffic jams and, everything's frustrating. But then you meet you guys and you hear your stories and you think all that stuff is no big deal in the grand scheme of things, And so, Lori, how do you stay positive?
Well, I do read. I try to read every morning scriptures and books that have been given to me. And, Laura was one, Mickey was one, Tanya Arledge was another one. I had people surround me that are positive and strong. So,
yeah. Let it out, Lori. It's okay. Yeah. You're human. You're so strong,
That's what's helped me. And, I want to continue that as well. And I do have my moments. I have a husband that's my rock. So.
Yeah, that's good.
That helps.
And in that interview that I watched with Derek Webb, with you and him, he's a big strapping fella. And, when he was interviewing him and he broke down, that gets you, because it's like, wow, he loves his wife, and he loves, the person that you are, and he sees how strong you are, and it amazes him, as it does, I think, all of us, right? Like, you guys, Lori was in a fashion show, she's going through treatments. She, hopefully the brain cancer is gone. That's what we're going with. It's gone. Yes. See you later. But, you're tired. You're going through all these treatments and everything, and you still got your little buns up there and walked the red carpet and wore your wig, which you don't. You just wear a ball cap, right?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So you put the wig on and said, okay, we're going for it. And and I think we had a good day.
Yes. She had some amazing lipstick. How did your husband like it?
He likes just plain Jane.
Yeah, I love it.
He wasn't sure how to react.
Good. All of us girls, though. So here's the funny thing: Raquel put her wig on Lori and put lipstick on her, and we were all getting ready to do the fashion show, and some people came in to see Lori, and I was like, "Oh, come here! She's back here. I'll take you to Lori." And then we go walking by, and I didn't even know it was you standing against the wall. And then I heard you say something, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, Lori!"
It looked totally different.
It was fun.
I said I was ready for Halloween. Seriously.
Yeah, I know. But wait, let's put you guys that can see this when you look. Okay, Lori is right there with the butterfly ribbon.
She looks great.
How cute was she? How cute is she? All of
the lipstick was awesome. That was.
I thought the lipstick was beautiful.
Together.
It was. It looked amazing. She just looked so good. And I
talked about her positivity. She's the one who wanted to start this Pink Pack Tribe. When I finished and got to 2021 and was a year out. And I was like, did my checkups and okay, you're okay for another 3 months. I'm like, yay, 1 year out. I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to talk about cancer, nothing. But Lori's like getting ready for her hysterectomy. And she's like, hey, we need to do what you guys did for me. We need to do that for other people. We need to figure something out. I'm like, okay, I can do that now. I'm 2 years out from it. But yeah, I can do that now. I think I can do that now. I couldn't do it when I was where you were 6 months out. But I was like, I mean, she's the catalyst of this Pink Pack tribe and getting us all together.
You were inspiring, you and Mickey. I mean, these ladies didn't go like stop by and just put stuff on my porch. And it's just things I didn't think about. Now I want to do that and return to other people.
Right. And that's what I was doing. Cassie Long was mine.
To talk about it, because as I started going through they could understand some of it, but then when I started going through the expanders, they couldn't understand completely. And then, the BRCA1 gene, I just thought the more people we can talk to that can kind of, make a contact with one person, then you can exchange phone numbers and feel comfortable, maybe talking more one-on-one. Any way you can help someone, I feel.
So what do you guys, so Lori, thank you for starting this. And then Laura and everybody who's involved with this Pink Pack tribe on Facebook. And I know that you said that if you request to join, you get in right away. Yeah. But do you guys also meet in person ever?
Yes. Once a month. Every month we meet. And we meet at the First Presbyterian Church in Chillicothe. It's up on Mead Drive. If you're from Chillicothe, then it's where people went sledding in the wintertime. Yeah, on Bellevue, off of Bellevue there. And they put a sign out for us to announce that we're going to be there. We usually meet on the first Tuesday of the month from 5:30 to 7:30. In this November, we're meeting on the second Tuesday because it's election day and we want you to all go vote. So we're going to meet on the second Tuesday this time.
Okay, that makes sense. But so just to be clear too, that doesn't mean if you're in this Facebook group, you have to go to these meetings. This is like if you
anybody can go to those meetings.
Anybody can't. But the beauty in the Facebook group is you can go on there as often or as little as you feel the need. Yeah. Because just as you all mentioned, sometimes you don't want to talk about it.
Right.
Like you don't, you want to move forward and get past it. But then
then your husband didn't tell his siblings either, just FYI.
Oh, yeah. But so, I mean, and each to their own, right? There's no judgment here about how you handle your journey that is breast cancer or any illness for that.
We want to put out options. Like, this is what so-and-so did, this. Yeah. Here's some resources. If you want to talk, great. If you want to just sit and listen, hopefully we have some positive stories. We've got the little 50 days of hope for you. Now we pass out calendars now, thanks to your Tiffany, Dr. Tiffany. I can't think of her last name.
Oh my gosh, are you serious? Yes. I did not know that. So, so it's our doctor that was on the podcast connected with you guys?
Well, I just took her idea because she said she gives all of her patients a calendar and she wants the monthly. So it has a monthly and then a weekly. So you can put like how you're feeling and questions. So I got online and got some calendars that we can hand out with this little 50 Days of Hope book, which some people gave me. And so
that is
unfortunately, really awesome. I passed out probably 30 of those little books in the last 3 years since I've had, and I'm like, I never heard of the book, but it's a wonderful little thing.
It's a wonderful book. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, no one should feel alone in this.
No,
absolutely.
And I feel like there are probably people who do feel isolated and alone. And so if you're a person who knows of someone or is that person who would like to have a group that you can go as often or as little as you need, then the Pink Pack tribe's where it's at. I'm telling you.
And that's the nice thing about Facebook is if you're not sure about posting online or whatever, or to the whole group, you can, once you join that, you can send a message on Messenger individually to somebody. And that way, and we post flyers in doctors' offices and stuff. So anybody can come to these meetings, and you could even be like the support person for somebody who has breast cancer or something, if you want to come and get some information or some resources or whatever.
Well, and the other part is, I was just thinking about this too. If you're not local and you're listening to this podcast, you can still be part of the Facebook group.
Yes.
And it's so, I think the more people you know, and the treatment and the plans and the things that, what the research you did for your own particular cancer, Laura, and you, Kim, and you, Lori, you can then share what you've learned more about specifically going through that type of cancer and your treatment, so everyone can come and say, here, they can make an educated decision based on all the information of other stories. And so, we don't have to recreate the wheel. You don't have to always do all the research on your own if someone's there to provide what they found, and then you can go beyond that if need be. But that's really good. I really, really like this. And like, if you're not from this local area, or even if you are, you can do your own fundraisers. You can join us next year. It's going to be sometime in October. So, I mean, if you are on this Facebook group, then they will be posting information about this. So you'll know when everything is and how to get involved if you want to be.
Yeah.
But I want to also talk now. I will ask you guys before we go a question about what you have found in life that can inspire other people to find it too, because it's called Find It. But emotionally, so we talked about the treatments, and we talked about, how you made the decision on what you were going to do. And I did talk to Lori, but I didn't talk to you, Kim or Laura, about what you guys do mentally to stay strong and get through it. What you did do. Kim?
I'm a faith person. So mine was just, I'm a believer in that Jesus has got me.
Yeah.
I mean, it was at the time, even today, it would be a win-win for me. If I died, I'm going to see Jesus face to face. If I'm here, I get to be with my family. So either way, it was a win-win.
Yeah. So,
my faith, just staying in scripture, connecting with my Bible study girls.
Yeah.
They lifted me up. That was my group at the time.
Yeah. Oh, that's
keeping me
strong. And you never, ever forget that. Who was around and who gave you that extra burst. And, even though, you can be the most faithful spiritual person in the world, but we are human.
Oh, absolutely.
Other women around that can build us up and make us feel the love. Like Lori said, she now, because of you all, she wants to give back and help other people feel that love and support like you guys gave to her. So Laura, what did you do?
So I started reading more. Like, I go to church and whatever. And I actually, we didn't have there were no Sunday church services. And that was my once a week, go see my dad, go see my family, my brothers, whatever. And you didn't have Sunday service, and I couldn't go to school. I couldn't do anything. So we actually had Sunday morning mass at 8 a.m. at St. Mary's. And I know that my grandfather went to Sunday morning mass and I thought, you know what, I'll just go, because I can go there and I don't know, there's something about the church and the building. And I just felt more comfortable there, and I could go there, say rosary, whatever. And that was really good, because I got to see a few other people, not necessarily people that I'm really close with or whatever, but they're like Pete Kinney. He's an older guy and he's bald, and he gave me a hug and he's like, honey, it's going to look as good as mine. He's wonderful. Father Hummer said, this might sound strange, but you have a beautiful bald head. It's very nice. Like, okay, thank you. So that made me feel better. But I went to daily mass like Monday through Friday as often as I could when I was going through the chemo that summer, because you couldn't go on Sundays. You couldn't go when there's a lot of people. Laura Miller, bless her heart, she's another breast cancer survivor. I worked with her. She gave me a book, a daily Bible verse book, and it had just a daily thing in it. So then the next year I passed that on to somebody else, but I bought another one. And last year I bought 10 of them and passed them out to people. And I already bought the 2024 one it's just got a Bible verse, and then it's got a daily devotional, but then it's got digging deeper, and it sends you different places in the Bible. So I've really gotten to know my Bible well. And then that hope book, that just opened up like, oh my gosh, I can do this for, I don't know. It's just doing that helped me realize, okay, there are a lot of God moments or whatever you want to call them in terms of this whole thing. And then I'm realizing every day there's all these 50 little things that it's just, they happen the way they're supposed to and when they're supposed to, so that you can do your
it was something that all of you have touched on just a little bit is one thing, your faith. Yes. In addition to that, it is you helping someone else almost helps you too.
Yes.
Yes.
It has that and that's another lesson to all of us, that it's not even when we're sick, doing something for someone else on any given day, regardless of your circumstances, is good for them and it's good for us.
Yes.
It's so good. So good. So, I've already kept you guys modeling on the red carpet, doing all the things. And I'm like, hey, it's an 11th hour podcast. Let's do this too. You're probably like, this lady, I don't know. But I'm going to wrap it up by asking each of you, and take as long as you would like, and talk about different angles if you have it. But find it just to me means, in different chapters of our life, we're always seeking or finding new things about ourselves or about others, or, and growing as a human being. So you could even say specifically, what have you found about going through the cancer journey that you can share with other people to inspire them and help them? And then also personally, what have you found in life with cancer or without that you can share to inspire us to find that too? Kim?
No, go somebody else.
Okay. Well, she's got to think about it. I should have known not to go to her first shirt. What have you found in life in general that you can share that's like something that really like, wow, this is a moment. This is what I have found something here, and I want to share it because I want to inspire other people to find it too.
Well, I think like what you were saying earlier about, when you girls, if you're in a traffic jam, is it a totally different perspective? And when you go through something like this, it's, life is, you don't get as aggravated as easily as you once were. I'm sure my kids can attest to the fact that, oh yeah, she was witchy way back then. She's much nicer now. It's a different perspective. You just,
well, I do. Kim, I'm glad you brought that up, because when we were all at my house, I thought of I'm like, what, when I looked at you guys and I said, since your cancer, do things bother you as much as things? And you all looked at me and was like, no. I mean, we still get aggravated about stuff, but it does make you have a new perspective on life, because do you live more in the moment, you guys?
Yes.
Probably.
Yes.
And like the,
I don't know. So I'm
10
years out. I'm 10 years out now. So
yeah,
it's
starting to forget.
I'm starting to forget. Yeah. That amnesia is setting in.
Yeah.
I love it.
So
somebody,
but no,
what
it
about
does.
you, Laura? Yeah. Different
I was
perspective.
going to say, I was kind of already that way simply because my son had when he was diagnosed type 1 diabetic, probably should have died, but he didn't, thank goodness, in 2018. And so I was kind of that whole, little things don't really matter already. And I'd had a few friends that had gone through breast cancer, and it was like, okay, so yeah, we're just going to, we're going to go.
We do it.
And we're going to be happy and do the things. I eat the dessert, do that, all that, go on the trips, do the stuff, see kids. The house will clean itself, or it'll still be there, and it won't.
It's dirty.
It won't because you didn't clean it. It's okay.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's not disgusting, and we live in it, and it's okay. I like it.
Yeah.
But then once I had the breast cancer, it's kind of continuation of that. But then also, kind of a more of the, what else can we do to help other people? I don't know. And I mean, as a teacher, I'm always looking out for my school kids, but then it's like, oh, wait a minute. There's these women that don't have a clue what's going on, and maybe don't have two brothers and their wives and their kids and all this other stuff that I had, and all the friends that I had just because. I live in the same place that I grew up in, whatever.
And a big family.
And a huge family. I mean, and what are they doing? And I had people that reached out to me. So it's like, you got to share that. You got to keep reaching out. And I don't know, it just seems like the natural thing to do is just keep passing that along.
And I'm sure there are so many people who have appreciated your help, Laura. I mean,
and just like pay it forward. And they're like, oh, how'd you think of that? I'm like, I didn't. Somebody did it for me. I'm just passing it on. It wasn't my bright idea. So
I love that. I love that. Thank you for sharing. Lori, what do you have to say for me, girl?
I think it's slowed my life down. Like, I enjoy things a lot more. Just whether it's, the hills. We did a vacation to Montana. I'm a beach girl. I love my beach. So my husband and I was like, let's do something different. So we went to Montana and seen the mountains that are huge. And so I think it's slowed our life down where we enjoy things a little bit more. Yeah, we still get aggravated at times. It doesn't. Sure. But
with each other.
Yeah, you just slow down and you enjoy life and you enjoy family more. And I was a head coach and I stepped down as a head coach, and now I'm a assistant coach to a coach that played for me. So I'm still enjoying it, but I want to take a step back. I couldn't give to the team what I wanted to. I didn't know if I'd have the strength on a daily basis. But the biggest thing for me is the slowing down, enjoying like what's in front of you. When they say it's day by day, it's easy to get in that routine all the time, and we still have routine, but we've scheduled more vacations. We try to do more family time, just more of the little things, and to slow down and enjoy it. Yes.
Well, that's good that you're saying that, because everybody can learn to slow down a little bit and enjoy the moment. And we don't want to have a cancer diagnosis to make us do that.
Right.
But I just thought of something else, and I don't want to let this end before we talk about this. How was your experience with the reaction of family members or friends? Did you find that, well, Laura, you were in the middle of it, but I mean, did you guys feel like you had the support, or did you ever feel like some of your closest friends were scared and kind of went away? Or is that something anyone's comfortable talking about? You, Laura?
I felt really good. I mean, I went out and I told my brothers in person, said, make sure you tell your wives, tell everybody. And then I had texted, I have a camping group, like family. And then I texted my family and everybody just to say, this is what it is. It's all going to be okay. I'm going to be fine. And we're going to do surgery and then we'll go from there. And then my small group of friends were amazing, because one of them had gone through breast cancer. She had double mastectomy, no treatments. Oh. Everything's been fine for over 10 years. Or she just reached 10 years last May.
Oh, yeah.
So, but they were amazing. We were planning on doing a little jambalaya thing at the end of March anyway. And so we went ahead and did it and made it a drive-through, because it was COVID and you weren't supposed to have get-togethers. So we did a drive-through. Well, they came and they all got together at my best friend's house, and they made these signs and all this stuff. And they came driving all together, honking their horns, with all these pink signs and all these pink balloons and everything. And it's like, that was the beginning. And then I don't know. And maybe if it hadn't have been COVID, and me going out in public with a mask, if I had been the only one with a mask on and the only one that had to be careful, it may have been different, but it was kind of
experience was good. Yeah. I mean, as far as I guess maybe even the better question is, if we know of someone who has a diagnosis of cancer or any other illness that can be scary, what is it for your friends? What is it they can do for you that makes you feel that love and not alienated? Because I know a lot of times, and not you guys, but I know there have been people who felt like it was scary for friends, and they're protecting their heart because you're sick. And so it can change the dynamic of friendships, not just illness, but like job changes when you move to a different location or anything. But specifically for you guys, what would you tell your friends? All I really need is what, Lori?
I would say normalcy.
Okay.
To be treated normal, because you and your spouse or your direct family, we have to deal with it in a different way. And something I connected with the volleyball players when I was a head coach, I wanted it outside of the gym. Like, I educated them because I thought that was important for young women.
Right.
But I feel like when I entered the gym, I wanted normalcy. When I'm around my friends, I don't probably have a beverage as much as they do, but I want them to feel comfortable being them around me. So just keep doing what we've been doing and remain normalcy in my life.
That's really good advice. That's really good advice.
That worried look every time they look at you. You don't want that. You want, let's just have fun. Let's do our thing.
Yeah.
Do our thing. Yes. I would agree. That's probably, good answer, Lori.
Yeah, that's really important. So I just thought for the people who are your support people or your loved ones, what advice do you give when you're going through something like that? And it's true. You do want to feel like you're the same person.
Yeah.
You are the same Lori. You are the same Laura. You are the same Kim. You just simply had gone through cancer, and Lori, you're currently battling it. But thank you. Thank you for being like,
give me a little longer hug when we leave, but while we're there, let's just act like I don't have it. That's the kind of thing. Just let's be normal. And then when I get ready to leave, you can give me a longer hug. That's okay. But that's the only time you're allowed to act like something's wrong.
Love it. Love that. So once again, you guys, I've got Lori Koker, Kim Hirsch, and Laura Vollmar on, and there's a Facebook group called the Pink Pack Tribe, and you can join that crew, that tribe, and have a support system. What a blessing you guys are. And I just pray for you guys every day to stay, Kim, clean, you, Laura, and Lori, I think let's just say right now, prayers for everybody, and especially Laura, right now. Lori, you are good. You are good. You walked the red carpet today, and you're going to be just fine.
And thank you so much. And, making the awareness where people can have hope and find
and making us feel beautiful.
People.
Oh, we had a blast. I love it. Yeah. But anyway, I appreciate you guys coming on at this 11th hour idea that I had. And I'm sure you've made a big impact on people's lives already. And you are positive. And this is a letter of encouragement right here.
Yes.
This is what we're saying. You guys, if you have someone who's sick, just act like they're not. Give them a break. Give them a break for a minute. We did that today.
Yes.
All right. Well, anyway, anything else anybody wants to say before we wrap this up? Anything?
No.
Any message?
No.
Reach out. It's okay to ask for help and ask questions. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And take your time. Take your time.
Nice. You guys are amazing. So with that, you guys, thanks for joining us. And we will be back. I will be back with somebody next Wednesday, same time, different guests. And don't forget to keep finding it and love yourself and stay well.
Thanks, Deb.
Thank you.
That floats around me, keeping